So first of all, thank you for being here. I know that we are in very difficult times. And thank you also for those who are following these presentations online. Well, I'm Natalia López Hornickel. I'm from Chile. And about my background, I'm a sociologist, and I also hold a master's degree in sociology. And currently I'm doing my MBRES and PhD at the University of Bath in the pathway of advanced quantitative methods. And I just started this last September. And so I'm going to present you this, which is titled A School Effectiveness Approach to Good Citizenship. And the authors are Ernesto Treviño from the Faculty of Education at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile, Diego Carrasco from the Measurement Center Miduse at the same university, and also Carmen Gloria Zuñiga from the Faculty of Education at the same university. And the first thing that I want to say that this study or analysis is a chapter of this book that you can see here. And if you have in your hands your phone, you can scan the QR, because this is a book which is free and you can download. Good Citizenship for the Next Generation, edited by Ernesto Treviño, Diego Carrasco, Ellen Claes, who is here in this room with us, and Carrie Kennedy. And this book provides an analysis of profiles among young people in 24 countries, and used the Survey International Civic and Citizenship Education Study from the IA, and accounts with different analyses based on these profiles. So all the chapters are based on the construction of these profiles that you can see here. And in the survey ICCA's 2016, students of 8th grade, they answer if they adhere to citizenship norms. For instance, you can find those not related with rules, as obey the law, respect, or be involved with work. Also norms related with a more formal dimension related with voting or seeing the news, or are interested in history. Also norms related with solidarity, as be aware of environment, human rights, and local communities, and also norms related with an active dimension that are related with protests or discuss social issues and participate in political parties. So David Torres and Diego Carrasco identified these 5 profiles. And as you can see, there is a comprehensive profile, which is the orange line, which is constituted by students that support to all these citizenship norms. So they are interested in rules, formal solidarity, and active dimensions. The duty-based students are highly engaged with formal participation, as you can see in the second column, but they are not very interested in protest or participate in the local community. And also the social engaged, which is the yellow line. And you can find those students that are more active in protests, demonstrations, but not too much as participation in elections. The monitorial is similar to the social engaged, which is the brown line, but in a lower level than social engaged. Finally, the anamic profile, in which you can find students that are not worried at all on these citizenship norms. So you can know a little bit more about the construction of these profiles today in the session at 4:30, in which Diego Carrasco will explain more the process of construction. And regarding this chapter and the study that I'm going to talk, well, here schools are seen as a crux of socialization process. First, there is an intergenerational transmission hypothesis, in which evidence demonstrates that political inequities among adults are passed to children. And also this means that the level of citizenship norms involvement depends on the adult's education. And in this sense, the socioeconomic status will affect also, is a predictor of the civic knowledge, the skills, the dispositions among the students. And the civic background in the family also will impact the characteristics such as political interests, opportunities for political discussion outside their schools, and engagement with political new media. Nevertheless, the problem is that this transmission is not guaranteed because we live in different societies with different inequality levels. So these characteristics are not equally distributed among students and families. And this translates into political participation inequalities later in life. That's why schools appears like a crucial space with a compensatory role in which practices as open classroom discussion or civic learning opportunities are crucial to make a difference in the citizenship endorsement of the students. Because as you can imagine, open classroom discussion, the teacher promotes critical thinking among the students. They could discuss social issues or political issues. And also if they teach civic items, students could be more involved with the citizenship ideas. And also it's important to have in account that the socioeconomic composition of the school will affect also the civic outcomes, including civic knowledge and other non-cognitive outcomes. And there is evidence how open classroom discussion influence voting intentions, civic law knowledge, endorsement of egalitarian values, political efficacy, etc. The same for civic learning opportunities at school. So, of course, the most reasonable hypothesis here is that exposure to civic learning opportunities at school should have significant relationship with the student citizenship norms endorsement. And this leads us to the two main questions, which are very, we'll say, in the baseline. Is school membership related to citizenship norms endorsement? And are civic education school practices related to students' citizenship endorsement? So for that, as I mentioned before, we use the ICCS 2016 from the IA, using and we run the analysis through 24 countries that include Italy, among other European countries, also Latin American and Asian context. And as I told you before, as dependent variable, we use the profiles that I present briefly at the beginning. And as independent variables, we use student characteristics like socioeconomic status, sex of the student, immigration status, interest in political and social issues, discussion of political and social issues outside schools, the social media use also, and student participation. And at school, open classroom discussion, civic learning, teacher-student relation at school, and student interpersonal relations. So we use a multi-level model, which include the student characteristics at the first level and the school contextual effects at the second level, which is a multinomial based category because we are using a categorical dependent variable. So regarding the results, here I just try to simplify the analysis because these coefficients are in odds. So as you can see here, female students are less likely to endorse anomic or monitorial profiles. and they are more likely to endorse a socially engaged profile than a comprehensive. Also, students that present higher political interests have more chances to be in a comprehensive profile. Political discussion, also students who engage more in political discussion are more likely to present a comprehensive profile instead an anomic profile. The social media use, students who use more social media presents lower chances to be in an anomic profile or social engaged or duty profile than a comprehensive. So definitely they have more chances to be in a comprehensive than any other profile. And it's very the same with open classroom discussion, civic learning, and students' participation at school. In the case of teacher-student relations, those students that report to have a positive relationship with their students are more likely to endorse anomic profile than a comprehensive. And those students that present more positive relationship with their peers are less likely to endorse monetary socially profile than a comprehensive. In the case of school level estimates, here we have that those schools that present, here it's important to mention that for obtain the contextual level, there was a subtraction between the beta of the level 2 less the beta of the level 1. So we can obtain the contextual effect because of that subtraction. And here I just report those effects that are significant in the contextual level specifically. So higher socioeconomic school present contextual effects and are more likely to endorse duty-based and socially engaged profile than a comprehensive, because as you can realize, I didn't mention before, but the comprehensive is our reference category. And political interest, schools with higher political interest are more likely to endorse comprehensive profile instead of social engaged. Political social media use are more likely to comprehensive profile also than a duty-based, and is almost the same for open classroom discussion, civic learning, and student participation, and also student interpersonal relations. So this is positive because we are finding that open classroom discussion, civic learning, and all these positive interactions at school promote a type of a student that is interested in all the previous norms. So as conclusions, as I mentioned before, effectively, the school membership is associated with student citizenship norms endorsement. And in that sense, our results are positive. Students from different schools present different citizenship norms profiles. And also regarding the school practices, in particular civic learning and open classroom discussion are related to citizenship norms endorsement. And in a comprehensive way, which I mentioned just a minute before. And this is critical, as I told you, because that means that if schools provide more opportunities to discuss critically an issue, so the students will be more involved in different citizenship or civic norms. Sorry. So also we had the opportunity to observe contextual effects, and those schools that present a higher level of socioeconomic status present higher odds of being socially engaged or duty-based norm instead of comprehensive profile. And those students with higher political interests present higher chances of endorse a comprehensive citizenship norms. Also those who use more social media. And it's important to, again, to make the distinction because these are contextual effects. So the thing is that if schools are providing the space to practice and guide students to discussion and be able to participate and contrast ideas, opinions, and of course, civic learning opportunities, that creates more participatory environments to promote a comprehensive citizenship endorsement, which, as I told you at the beginning, is more able to participate in all the civic norms. So that means that tomorrow those students are able to participate in political instances and are able to defend human rights and at the same time providing formal participation. So thank you. And if you want to access to the book, you can just scan with your phones. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Natalia. Interesting presentation. We will now have space for questions, both from the on-site and online audience, about 10 minutes. I want to share something with you because I have knowledge of this book, just to contextualize it a little bit better. In Italy, the students are mostly located in the comprehensive profile, and that is followed by the socially engaged. So we're talking about 90% of the student population that concentrates in these two profiles, just if it adds information to the background of your questions. Thank you. Okay, maybe I will start with one question, if that's okay, unless we had another one. Yes. So Italy is currently undergoing a reform on civic education. And of course, your findings are very interesting for that. So I would just like you to reflect, based on your findings, what would you recommend in terms of best classroom practices?
Whoa, well, as I think that was the main idea of the presentation. And of course, taking in account to these teacher practices that are part of an open class. That means that promote discussion of different issues, because sometimes, you know, at least in countries like Chile, we have the problem that schools are also very restricted by the curriculum, and also even the ideas that the principal of the school have. So if Italy is reforming this, that will be very nice to include open classroom discussion and civic learning opportunities as part of the baseline to create more democratic environments inside of the classrooms. Yes, I think that is the main idea. And also because I'm interested in gender issues, it will be critical or crucial to take in account the participation of male and female students, because it's known and previous evidence demonstrate that the teachers sometimes promote the participation among males, for instance, in math class, but it's not the same for women. And also there are differences considering ethnic background and origin, among other characteristics. So, well, that's super good that this reform. Okay,
so we invite Ellen with a question. Ellen Klaas of K Leuven.
Hello, thank you for the very clear presentation. No, okay, here. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay, don't worry.
Yeah, okay. I will look at you like this. Thank you for the presentation. I actually want to add to the question of Magda. You clearly see that open classroom climate is a positive predictor at the second level. for the comprehensive profile. So the profile that I think, maybe we can say is the best profile we aim for, because these students score high on all the indicators of good citizenship. But my question is in relation to the teacher-student relationships. So you include them both in the model. Isn't there a possibility of multicollinearity? So that's maybe the technical question, because in the open classroom climate scale, you have the part that refers to the peer-to-peer interactions in the classroom, but you also have the part that refers to the teacher-students interaction.
Yes.
So maybe that's something that you can reflect upon.
Well, that is interesting. I haven't think on that, because we include the student interpersonal relationships with peers and with teacher-students. So your question is if that is correlated with open classroom discussion.
Yeah, because I saw in your analysis indeed that open classroom discussion is positive, but then the teacher-student relationship at the second level isn't. So that made me wonder. So I would just check that maybe.
Yes, I will check.
And yeah.
Yes. Yes, I just was thinking in the fact that because you have open classroom discussion as a reflective measure in which you ask to a student if they consider that class is, or the teacher in this case is promoting conversations, and if they are able to talk about difficult issues. Yeah, I don't know if they are correlated. That is the answer.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
And then I want to go on the gender difference and also link to open classroom climate. In a way, open classroom climate creates is maybe also a proxy for a safe climate where also girls can practice in being more politically active. But then my question would be, in the real political world, it's not like the safe environment of the possibility of open discussion. So is it okay to, will this work for girls?
Yes.
and do we maybe need something else? Because I know you also do really you focus on the gender issue here. So what would you suggest? Which extra items maybe would be useful to filter this out?
Well, that is interesting. If we could add some items or measures into the survey, I think because we have a gender scale to see if the students are supporting participation among females and males, but we don't know if the teachers are promoting the same level. So yes, that I think it's a very good question. Maybe we have to talk with the IA. But yes, it's true that even if we are in the 2021 year, females are participating less in formal spaces. And they are more able to support human rights or environment concernations, but it's true that they are not very able to discuss in class, or are more shy to talk and express their opinions. So maybe it could be interesting to see how is open classroom discussion to introduce an interaction term like open classroom discussion by gender or sex. That would be nice. I think so. Yeah, it's a good idea. Thank you.